So I led briefly. I've had in my video where I changed the coolant bottle, I also started to do the gear oil. Didn't think it'd be that difficult, if I'm honest. Dropped the oil out, put some new oil in, drove it a little bit, it felt okay, then it started to slip a gear or two. It just didn't feel quite right, so I researched into it. And at the time, it's stupid really. I knew I should have checked the spec of the oil. I don't think it's quite right. It's labelled as Dexron and then IID, so that's 2D. I couldn't really find if that's comparable to what is recommended or if it's not recommended. Everywhere I'm seeing, everything I was reading was then saying what you need is 6 HP Ravenol. So bit the bullet and just bought some of that. In addition, I wasn't too sure why I pulled out more oil than I put back in again. So did it again, put the Ravenol in, and decided to take it for a little drive, and it didn't go quite well as I wanted it to. In fact, it was saying a full. I just drove it off, took it off the driveway down the road and back again. Full limited mode, really, really bad in terms of the amount of power that's being available. Still moving, but not very well. So it obviously decided that the full meant you have to get limited power to the gearbox. So thankfully, I had a little look and found that there's a topping up procedure that I wasn't aware of. So I've got to basically get up to about 45 degrees, 45 to 65 degrees, and then fill it. So like a calamity, didn't do as good a job as I wanted to, and now I'm going to have to get under the car and do it. Good news is tomorrow I'm driving 250-ish miles down to East Sussex tomorrow morning, and as you can see, it's getting dark. Watch the space. So the saga continues. We're on to the gearbox oil. I'm not sure how much you're about to hear this over the engine idling, but I thought I'd have a quick show where I'm at. One of the reasons I actually like working on Discovery is the car is not jacked at all, and I'm under it completely. There goes the fans kicking in, so let's get up to temperature. Let me show you what I'm at. So under here, what I've got is, that's the fuel plug. And the procedure for this is meant to be 45 to 65. Once you've done that, you fill this up until it's flowing out gently. I've got my little drain catch thing, oil catch pan here. What I've also noticed, I don't know if anyone else can tell me the answer to this one, dripping here is some sort of fluid. I'm not sure what it is. It's coming from just up inside there. It's very hard to focus on that. Hold on. What? If you just see up there. It's coming from up there. It's above the gearbox, but it doesn't look like coolant. It doesn't look like brake fluid. Doesn't taste like either of those either. I don't know what it is. I've got no idea. It's dripping away. It's not pouring out, so I need to keep an eye on what that is. If anyone's got any idea what that is, let me know. Next I'm going to get out and check and see if it's ready to take some more oil in yet. So, oh the joy. Ow, that was my head. So I found on the diagnostic tool that I've got here, I've got where are we? iCarSoft. It's not the easy one to see. So iCarSoft LRV3, and I found on this one you can go into diagnostic mode. I'm not doing it while I'm waiting. Actually, got 38 degrees on here. So I don't even read that. It's not all that clear, is it? Let's see if we can get a better angle on it. It's really not great. Right, so on the main screen, diagnostics, and then obviously Land Rover, and I think, is it F1 or enter. There you go, VIN identify. So that way, VIN identify, it's going to try and find it for me. Set ignition, done that. Okay, and then it tells you what you've got. I think F1 is what you press then, and it then tells you can get down to, you can select which control unit, and then transmission control module, ignition on. It then tells you there's view data on here. I don't think it get up. So I'm going down to view data, and I'm assuming this must be the right data. And then you can go down, and it tells you there's a control module, internal temperature. So if you select that and then press F1, it gives you the current temperature. Now, when I drove this around for a little bit when the oil was low, it got up to 70 something, and then I just drove it home, just straight home that time rather than driving around, straight home, and I was getting up to about 45. So we're at 39 at the minute, so we've got a little bit to go, but once I've got it up to temperature, I'll see how much oil goes in. I reckon I'm probably about half a litre. On that, to do it, to fill it up, I'm not going to do this with more than one hand. I've got a cup that I barely use. We're going camping tomorrow. It's a camping cup. I won't be using that one. I'll put some oil from the bottle into the cup and then suck it out with this syringe, the attachment on the end, and that just helps me to get the angle I need to get it in there. I imagine there are other pumps that would use it. I can't say how to do it with anything other than a pump, so yeah. I'll report back when I've finished. So, we're done. The temperature's still showing 52, so we've done, I started bang on 45 degrees, went up to 52 at the most, so it's fairly consistent all the way through. I managed to put 6 litres of fluid in. I think that's about right. So I put 4 litres in before, and then another 2, and I think I only ever saw the most was, I thought it was 5, maybe 5.5. So if that is true, and I've lost a bit of oil over the years, and it was 150,000 miles, then maybe putting 6 litres in now, there's that extra little bit of fluid in there, maybe some of my drivetrain juddering will be eliminated as a result. I'm not expecting to see a massive amount of difference with the gear change, because when I've done it with less oil in it, it was okay, it's just not as clean and as good as it could have been. I'm also going to spend extra money on the driveway cleaning products. So actually, let's put this in here. There we go. So now I'm sat down. So yeah, I'm going to have to spend some more money on cleaning products for the driveway, because I'm a bit dirty, a bit covered, a bit oily. What I thought I'd test though, before I turn the camera off and say whether I've done the job for now, I mean, I'll report back. What should I do? I'll probably do the whole video of the video of where I'm at now, and then report back after I've done a few miles. When I get down to Sussex, actually, if I get there one piece, let's see. Right, what I'd test though, when I was in with the old oil with not quite enough oil in, it went through the gears no problem, got into gears, but it was a bit more of a jolt, a bit more judder between each gear. So now I'm in park. Reverse is just engaged. There was no as it went into it. You can just hear the engine revs change and the note change. So that sounds better. Back into neutral. And back into drive. There's no jolt in the gearbox there, which is a big improvement from this morning and before I even got the oil up to temperature. So you can hear the engine change note. I don't know if you can hear that on camera or not, but just straight through back into park. So now I'm going to go straight through from park, straight into drive. Yeah, and I can hear that there's no jolt at all. It's really smooth. So I'm hoping, and I got a bit of a weep of oil out when I filled it up. I would have liked to see a bit more, but I'd run out of oil. So I think I'm just about at the limit. I would have liked to even put another 100 mil in, and for that 100 mil to come back out again to know for 100% I've filled it up. Right, so we go from drive, back to neutral, smooth as, reverse, park. reverse. Yeah, you can feel the car surge because it's engaged the gear, but it's not surging going into gear. You might know what I mean. That was more of a clunk on the drive that time. Just go reverse, park. Didn't like reverse again then, did it? Right, the last few, it doesn't seem so happy. Where are we at? 53 degrees. Park to drive, smooth as. Back to park, smooth as. Reverse, smooth. Park, smooth. Then back into reverse again. So go reverse, park, reverse. Doesn't like it. Right, I'm going to leave it at that. I have read elsewhere that you might have to do about 200 odd miles, which is fortunately the drive distance I'm doing tomorrow, for the gearbox to do some relearning. So I'll call it a day for now. Here we go. Full load. Ready to rock and roll. I mean, we are stacked. What do you reckon? Is it going to get there okay? Is it not? Back in a bit. Right, here we go then. So we're at 184 miles into the journey. We've got about 20 to go. And I thought I'd just record because we've got a bit of traffic and give you an update on what's going on. So I've got my able assistants in the car with me now. Well, when I say able assistants, there's normally one child that's helpful, one's not.
Me, normally.
That one's helpful, that one's not so much.
I'm older though, so I deserve to be chilling.
Really? So Edward sat at the back and didn't do a lot. Jessica helped me to load the car, and also on the way down, we've done about an hour's worth of driving. We had the diagnostics plugged in, and Jessica went through. I taught her how to, or explained to her while I was driving safely, that she found the temperature on the gearbox, and when we were going about an hour down the motorway, 71, 72 degrees, that seemed to be reasonable to me.
Yeah.
And then when we got to the services, about halfway, we checked it, and it was about 80. Was it 82?
82.
82. So that was decent enough.
No, 82.
Gear changes seem to have been smooth. The whole car seems so much smoother than before I did it. Ed, that'll do. So much smoother than when we did it. So I'd say it's a resounding success. If you've got 150,000 miles on your Discovery and you haven't done the gearbox change, do it. Well, not gearbox change, the fluid change. I didn't change the sump or anything, just the fluid. So if you've got a bit of time, it's worth it. Make sure you do the procedure properly, get up to the right temperature, and away you go. Yeah, you've got sweets. Yeah, happy there. And we've literally also done 150,000 miles. So more to follow. EGRs probably at some point. In a bit. So bye.
Peace out. See you.